we are looking at the Piazza Duomo in Milan, Italy this Thursday morning. How did I do? Did I sound like a local there?
Like a local.
All right. The 2026 Winter Olympics kick off tomorrow. Our Anne-Marie Tiernan has been there all week. She's getting all prepped and ready for the big games. We're going to check in with her a little later this hour about all that is going on in Milan, what we can look forward to for the opening ceremonies, what she's seen so far, and how she's enjoying that sunshine. A little jealous of that, and we'll check in with you soon. We are glad that you are up with us here on 13 Sunrise. We wouldn't have the sun this early anyway, but it is nice to be able to see that sun is on the horizon for somebody eventually.
For somebody, yes. And we could use some of the sun to melt off all of that snow we still have lingering out there, but not really going to do it with the temperatures we'll reach today.
No, we'll still be kind of chilly with more snow showers. I think we'll have more snow showers than Milan throughout the day today. But hey, they're getting the sun in 50s this week. That's our forecast next week.
We'll just wait our turn then.
We'll wait our turn.
Okay.
It's got to come all the way over.
It's true.
Across the Atlantic. So
long drive.
Very long drive. Hey, let's talk about your forecast today. Lots of clouds out there this morning. The clouds are kind of low and they've been throwing out a couple spotty snowflakes here and there across central Indiana. No wind out there this morning here in downtown, so at least that's good because it's cold this morning. So if you had a wind chill, it'd feel even colder than this. We're down to 2 for some of us in Randolph County, but good morning in Marion. It's 18. It's just 11 degrees in Noblesville and Lebanon, 17 here in the city and to the west side, Avon, Brownsburg. Good morning in Zionsville at 17, 12 in Carmel and Fishers. Colder still in eastern Indiana. The reason why is we've had some clear skies throughout the overnight hours with more clouds and some spotty flurries closer to Indianapolis. But some of those clouds will maybe start to roll into eastern Indiana, even -1 there for parts of southeastern Indiana. But about 10 degrees or so, give or take, around Bloomington, Columbus, Bedford, and Seymour. It's these clouds you see kind of painted in the orange color where we've had a couple spotty flurries. Not a big deal. You see a couple of them popping up on the radar. We have a few in Shelbyville. Good morning in Greenwood, a couple flurries, and in Noblesville too. But coming up, more snow showers are coming in later today. The bulk of this misses us, but I think we'll get some of these. So coming up, we'll talk about the timing and maybe any kind of impacts you can expect today, and then another round tomorrow. But for now, let's talk about traffic and how things are moving for your morning commute. Good news that I don't really have anything to talk about this morning. With traffic, things are flowing fine. You see a lot of green on the map. Well, I look here in Lebanon where we've had a couple spotty flurries, and we've had a couple spotty flurries on the east side. I-70 there by Mount Comfort. Everything, Julia, is flowing fine.
Thanks for that update, Matt. The FBI is asking for patience as they investigate the disappearance and death of Haley Busby.
The 17-year-old disappeared last month from Fishers, with the FBI now leading the investigation that started in Indiana and ended tragically across state lines.
Police believe Haley was killed at a short-term rental property in Ohio. 39-year-old Tyler Thomas is charged with pandering, obscenity involving a minor, and tampering with evidence. He is not charged right now with her killing.
But investigators say that Thomas led them to Haley's remains and confessed to burying them. They say the two met online, and investigators share this case is complicated and will take time.
In a statement from the FBI, they say in part the investigation is being driven by the pursuit of justice for Haley due to the many locations and jurisdictions involved, as well as the ongoing nature of the investigation. There is not a timeline for when more information can be released.
Thomas is due in court again next Tuesday.
And an Amber Alert was not issued to find Busby at the time of her disappearance.
And now the woman who helped create the Amber Alert system wants to change the definition to prevent this from happening again. Carolyn Alvey helped create the Amber Alert system in 1996. Now, it's only issued for a child who police believe was abducted and in imminent danger of serious injury or death. There also has to be enough descriptive information about the victim and the abduction. Carolyn says that Haley's case proves that the alert needs to be expanded.
It's time for state of Indiana to update that based on where we are with technology. The Amber Alert 30 years ago, we didn't have any of that. We didn't even consider what that technology could do in terms of the criteria for law enforcement.
Indiana adopted the Amber Alert system in 2003. Since then, there have been 186 requests, and it's been activated 70 times.
A Fishers teenager is expected to admit guilt in a crash that ended the life of an HSC graduate and a rising college football star.
But the plea agreement on the table right now isn't necessarily sitting well with the family of the victim. Marina Silva is in studio with the case and talking about what's happened since then and joins us with the latest on these documents. Good morning.
Good morning, ladies. Well, attorneys for Trey Williams filed a document with the courts requesting a change of plea hearing to multiple charges from that high-speed crash last year that killed Mason Alexander. Williams was driving on Florida Road near Geist Park when he crashed. The car left the road, hit a tree, and burst into flames, killing Alexander. Mason Alexander was a star athlete at Hamilton Southeastern High School and had just started his college football career with the Pitt Panthers. Mason's family has seen the plea deal and says Williams will plead guilty to reckless homicide and will receive about a 3-year sentence. Prosecutors and attorneys haven't released the plea deal to us. I spoke with the family shortly after the change of plea was filed. They say this doesn't bring Mason back and they will still fight for justice.
We're not looking for vindictive justice. It doesn't paint a good picture that a young man's life was taken and you are moving on just like nothing even happened.
The family says they still have questions about the investigation. Court records are also showing that Trey Williams filed an order to travel, which the court granted. This is his second motion for travel, for which the court has granted. Now that change of plea is set for March 11th.
Okay, so we should maybe have an update then or be able to have more public information.
Yes.
Thank you, Marina. New this morning, a soldier accused of killing another soldier from here in Indiana has been found guilty in her murder. That's according to our sister station in Missouri.
Sergeant Sarah Roque was found dead on Fort Leonard Wood in Missouri in 2024. A military jury found Specialist Wooster Rancy guilty yesterday afternoon. Sergeant Roque is from Ligonier, Indiana, and that's about 30 miles southeast of Elkhart in northern Indiana. She was reported missing October 21st, a day before her body was discovered, reportedly found in a dumpster on base. Investigators say she had been shot in the head.
Well, according to that station KY3, evidence shows that Rancy bought heavy-duty trash bags and zip ties a day before Roque disappeared. Cell phone data showed the two were together for about an hour that day at her barracks. Rancy could be sentenced by the end of this week.
This morning, the federal government is drawing down the presence in Minnesota.
White House border czar Tom Homan announced yesterday 700 federal agents would leave the state. The update comes after Homan said that he was negotiating with Minnesota leaders to remove more ICE agents from the state.
He says the White House is also working to equip immigration agents with body cameras. Homan says the body-worn camera policy has been inconsistent, with some agents wearing them and some not. Some Southport High School students say they're facing suspensions today after walking out in protest to the country's immigration policy.
They joined hundreds of other Central Indiana students who also walked out of several schools this week. Anna Chalker is live this morning with why those kids say that they weren't expecting to get this kind of punishment and response from the school. Good morning.
Good morning, ladies. Those students also saying they expected a little bit of a consequence at this, not really knowing there'd be a suspension, but they say they wish there was transparency when this demonstration was first brought up. And now those students, they walked a good chunk of the south side here, Edgewood Avenue, where we're here this morning. They took over this street here behind me, and they say they felt this walkout was the best way for them, for their voices to be heard. And they say even though they're going to be suspended, they still feel like this was important to them and that it was a bigger issue than this. And that video taken by students just shows a little bit of that walk, chanting and holding signs in the anti-ICE demonstration. Junior Ava Miller tells us they were first told if they participated in the walkout, they would just be marked as unexcused for the day, but now say they're facing 1 day of out-of-school suspension.
I was very disappointed to hear that the disciplinary action was suspension. I feel like it was very uncalled for, and to a degree, I understand that there needs to be consequences. That comes with protest. You can open your history book and find that, but suspension seemed like a little bit of a reach to me.
And 13 News obtained the email Southport High School sent out to families. That first email coming at 11 a.m. on Monday, mentioning the unexcused absences. But later that night, another email went out saying that there is a clear line between expression and endangerment. And quote, any student who left the building or campus without prior authorization for an excused absence will face school consequences in accordance with the student handbook. Now, we did reach out to Perry Township schools about this walkout, but also those guidelines that they are mentioning in that email. They do tell us they cannot comment on disciplinary action against students. But coming up, we'll kind of talk a little bit more on some of the other reasonings they said led them to this change in consequence, but also some other rallies and walkouts that are being planned by students throughout the rest of this week, all throughout central Indiana.
And you wonder if that'll impact those other planned walkouts. Thank you, Anna. Longtime Indiana politician Lee Hamilton has died. The president of Indiana University announced his death yesterday. Lee Hamilton served as a Democrat in the U.S. House of Representatives for Indiana's 9th District. He held that role for decades, gaining respect and trust for his foreign policy expertise and bipartisanship efforts. Lee Hamilton was 94.
Well, the state's top election official is facing accusations that his campaign broke the rules. The Marion County Election Board released results of its investigation into this campaign video for Secretary of State Diego Morales. Investigators say they found state employees using state resources shot some of the footage that was later improperly used in campaign materials. Investigators say Morales refused to talk to them, so the board is giving him one more chance to answer questions about the issue. They could also decide to refer the case to the state's inspector general. Neither the Secretary of State's office or the campaign has responded to our request for comment.
If you live in Speedway this morning, you can start to pick up bottled water at the Municipal Center.
There is still that boil water advisory in effect, believe it or not. It went into effect, it's in effect rather, through at least Friday afternoon after a series of water main breaks. The water giveaway gets underway today at 9 o'clock this morning. It runs in till 5 and while supplies last.
Town leaders are limiting pickup, though, 1 case per household. You do have to live in Speedway. If you're not able to pick up the water because you have some health limitations or any other restrictions, you can call the Speedway Municipal Center and they'll give you some delivery assistance. Good morning, Matt.
Hey, good morning, Jalea. A lot of morning clouds out there and maybe even a couple spotty flurries. We've been seeing some of those with some of the street lamps across central Indiana. On and off flurries today, but tomorrow there could be a little bit of a heavier round trying to come in. We'll let you know, will any of this stick? We'll have the timeline for snow chances throughout the rest of the week.
And we're taking you live to Milan, Italy this morning, where the Winter Olympics kick off tomorrow. This is the first Olympics with 2 host cities.
So just ahead on 13 Sunrise, we'll check back in with Anne-Marie Tiernan. She's showing us what is going into keeping every location safe and secure.